Picture this. April 11th, 1970, a spacecraft embarks on what was to be the third lunar landing mission, Apollo 13. The world was abuzz with anticipation, the air heavy with excitement and awe. This was not just another mission, it was a testament to the sheer audacity of human endeavor, a bold stride into the great unknown. Apollo 13, a name now etched in the annals of space exploration, was tasked with an objective that was as tantalizing as it was daunting: to land on the moon and return safely. The mission was the epitome of our collective curiosity, our insatiable thirst to explore the unexplored, to tread where no human had ever set foot before. The day of the launch was a spectacle to behold. The monstrous Saturn V rocket, a marvel of human engineering, towered against the clear blue sky, its engines roaring with a promise of the adventure that lay ahead. The countdown began, and with every passing second, the heartbeat of millions around the globe quickened, their eyes glued to their television screens. At the heart of this grand expedition were three brave astronauts: Jim Lovell, Jack Swigert, and Fred Hayes. These were men of exceptional courage and skill, ready to risk everything in the pursuit of knowledge and exploration. Their names would soon become synonymous with resilience and bravery. Little did they know their mission was about to become one of the most dramatic events in space exploration history. 56 hours into the mission, the crew hears a loud bang. A jarring noise that echoed through the spacecraft, cutting through the hum of machinery and the quiet calm of space. The tranquility of their journey was abruptly shattered, replaced by a rush of confusion and uncertainty. An oxygen tank in the service module had exploded, a critical malfunction that sent the spacecraft and the lives of the crew members careening into jeopardy. The crew, experienced and trained for a myriad of potential issues, reacted quickly. But this was an eventuality they hadn't expected. Oxygen, the life-sustaining element so abundant on Earth but so precious in the vacuum of space, was rapidly depleting. The once routine mission had now mutated into an unprecedented crisis. Back on Earth, in the bustling control room of NASA's Mission Control Center, the ground team was gripped by the same wave of disbelief. The serene chatter of routine updates was replaced by the frantic scramble to understand the severity of the situation. The enormity of the task ahead was setting in. It was not just about crunching numbers or troubleshooting a technical glitch anymore. It was about saving lives. And then came the famous quote that encapsulates the gravity of the situation. Astronaut Jim Lovell's calm voice came over the radio. "Houston, we've had a problem here." A simple statement, yet it marked a dramatic turn in the course of the mission. Now the entire world held its breath, watching, waiting, hoping. The mission was no longer about landing on the moon, it was about getting the crew home safely. The dream of exploring the uncharted lunar landscape was overshadowed by the nightmare of a potential disaster. But in the face of adversity, the crew of Apollo 13 and their ground team did not waver. They rose to the challenge, displaying unparalleled courage and tenacity. But their perilous journey was only just beginning. With time running out, the crew and the ground team had to work together to find a solution. In the void of space, the clock was ticking. The Apollo 13 astronauts, Jim Lovell, Jack Swigert, and Fred Hayes, were now facing an unprecedented crisis far from home. Oxygen was leaking, systems were failing, and each passing second was a step closer to disaster. On Earth, the ground team at NASA's Mission Control was scrambling, their minds racing against the cruel hands of time. This was not just another space mission. This was a life-or-death situation where every decision mattered. The crew's survival hinged on the expertise and ingenuity of both the astronauts and the ground team. The challenges were numerous and daunting. The command module, their primary spacecraft, was losing life-supporting resources. Their trajectory was taking them farther from Earth rather than towards it. The situation was grim, but in the face of adversity they began to improvise. With the command module crippled, they turned to the lunar module, a vessel designed for landing on the moon, not for sustaining life in space. It was a desperate plan, but it was a plan nonetheless. The lunar module, affectionately known as Aquarius, was to become their lifeboat, a sanctuary in the unforgiving vacuum of space. Yet survival was not guaranteed. The crew still had to make a critical engine burn to adjust their course back to Earth. The stakes were high. A burn too short, and they would not make it home. Too long, and they would overshoot Earth entirely. It was a delicate balance, a fine line between success and failure. And they had to get it right on the first try. The engine fired. The spacecraft shuddered. The astronauts held their breath. On Earth, the ground team watched, their hearts pounding in their chests. Then, finally, the engine cut off. It was a success. They had done it. The course was corrected. The lunar module, their lifeboat, had held up. Despite the odds, the crew was on their way home. The crew faced one final challenge: re-entry. The team at NASA knew that the task was far from over. Their primary concern was the integrity of the spacecraft's heat shield. During the initial explosion, it was unclear if the heat shield had sustained damage. This vital component would be responsible for protecting the astronauts from the blistering temperatures of re-entry, which can reach up to 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit. If the heat shield was compromised in any way, the astronauts would not survive their journey home. As the spacecraft neared Earth, the tension was palpable. The world held its collective breath as the crew of Apollo 13 disappeared behind the radio blackout, a standard occurrence during re-entry due to ionization of the air around the spacecraft. This blackout period, usually lasting for about 3 minutes, felt like an eternity. The silence from the spacecraft was deafening. Every second that passed without contact was another second of uncertainty, a moment where the worst could be happening. Finally, after an agonizing wait, came the sound that everyone had been waiting for, the crackle of the radio as contact was re-established. The world heaved a sigh of relief as the astronauts' voices came through, confirming their survival and successful re-entry. The splashdown was a sight to behold. The spacecraft, looking more like a charred relic than a cutting-edge piece of technology, bobbed gently in the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean. The astronauts, weary but triumphant, were quickly recovered by the waiting recovery team. The world was in awe. The mission that had been dubbed a successful failure had ended in a victory of human ingenuity and resilience. The astronauts of Apollo 13 had faced the vast, unforgiving void of space and returned to tell the tale. Their story served as a stark reminder of the risks involved in space exploration, but also of the incredible feats that can be achieved when we push the boundaries of what is possible. Against all odds, the Apollo 13 crew had made it back to Earth. Their perilous return remains a testament to the indomitable human spirit and the power of teamwork in the face of adversity. But Apollo 13 still holds its share of mysteries. In the aftermath of the mission, a thorough investigation was launched to identify the cause of the explosion. It was revealed that the mishap was due to an oxygen tank explosion in the service module, a result of a design flaw and manufacturing error. A simple thermostatic switch designed to operate at 28 volts was unknowingly subjected to 65 volts during a pre-launch test. This led to the switch welding shut, causing the temperature within the tank to rise to dangerous levels. When the crew initiated a routine stir of the oxygen tanks, the heat was too much. The tank exploded, setting in motion the series of events that would forever be remembered as the successful failure of Apollo 13. Yet, despite this discovery, several questions remain unanswered. What if the explosion had occurred later in the mission, when the crew was on the lunar surface or on their way back home? Would a rescue mission have been possible? Theories abound, but the truth is we simply don't know. The explosion, occurring when it did, allowed for a narrow window of opportunity, a slingshot trajectory around the moon that enabled the crew's safe return. The impact of the Apollo 13 mission on future space missions was profound. It highlighted the need for robust contingency planning, thorough pre-launch testing, and the importance of problem-solving under pressure. It led to design and procedural changes, not just in the Apollo missions that followed, but also in all subsequent human spaceflight endeavors. The lessons learned from Apollo 13 continue to inform space missions today, from the International Space Station to potential future journeys to Mars and beyond. Moreover, the mission underscored the inherent risks of space exploration and the courage of those who dare to venture into the unknown. It reminded us that space is a hostile environment, unforgiving of errors, but also that with ingenuity, teamwork, and a dash of luck, even seemingly insurmountable challenges can be overcome. The story of Apollo 13 serves as a testament to human perseverance and ingenuity. It remains a gripping chapter in our journey to the stars, its mystery still capturing our imagination even after all these years.